Olá, Peter.
Hello, António.
Hey, hey. Olá, Parvati. How are
Hello.
you?
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So you're going to share a practice today?
Yeah, just a small practice, just for us to settle in and enjoy ourselves, actually.
We can give another minute or two to see if anyone else joins, and we can begin with your practice then, if you like.
Yeah, that sounds perfect, Peter.
Oh, Parvati, I just saw your message now. I didn't see it at the time.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, basically the practice that I'm feeling to share is just some breath awareness. Yeah, I'm gonna give a little context while nobody arrives.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna breathe and exercise a little bit the Mula Bandha as we breathe, and just simple as that. Just for us to feel comfortable, listen to the body. It is based in the Grace Flow template, so it won't be anything completely new or completely from another level or some extraterrestrial thing. So it is a very known thing. So
I have a suggestion, which would be to guide it as if none of us were familiar at all with the bandhas, so that you have the opportunity to see the challenge of explaining it to a new audience.
okay, that sounds good. Hi, Elio, welcome.
Hi, Elio.
Hi. Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. I'm sorry, I'm trying to connect to the computer, but I'm having some problems. That's why I came now in the iPhone and the phone. But let me see if I can go by the computer, okay?
Yeah, sure. We are going to get ready to share a practice together. So make yourself comfortable.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me well?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we can start just to let the body move just gently, softly, just bringing some awareness. If there is any needs for stretch. Any part of your body that is more sensible. Can relax your voice, your breath. You may invite some movement on your neck, gently and softly. And prepare the body for settling in a little bit. if the body feels the need to move, let it move. Welcome it to move. Now you can bring the awareness to your breath. You can let your voice flow as you breathe. And keep the openness for the body to also move with the breath and your voice. It feels like it. This practice is just a conscious breathing, very simple, very supposed to be very comfortable, very warm and gentle. We're gonna work with the Mula Bandha, and as we inhale, we invite the contraction gently and softly as we did with the body. We invite that gentle contraction of the Mula Bandha in the inhalation to help the energy move up, and we relax the Mula Bandha when we exhale. If you feel like it, you can work the Mula Bandha with the perineum and your anal sphincter. As you inhale, you can contract the anal sphincter and the perineum, and as you exhale, you can receive your breath with the perineum, and then with the anal sphincter, you compress later to help the flow of energy, like receiving energy from the perineum, and you then contract the anal sphincter to move the energy back to the Shushumna Nadi and up, like a gentle roller coaster, a gentle wave, a warm and bright one. Remember to keep your body open to movement. It's not a strict practice. You can stand up if you want, if you feel like it. So I invite you all to bring that awareness to the breath. And with inhalation, contract the Mula Bandha, press it gently and move the energy up. You can release your voice in exhalation. You can feel a wave going up. You can feel that bioelectricity going up when you inhale. You can feel it also in the exhale. You can inhale by the nose. You can exhale by the mouth if you feel like it. If it is more comfortable to you. You can see where your need and your attention takes you. You are also unveiling the inherent intelligence of the body. Yeah. You may enjoy every breath you take as a gift of life. Yeah. Like your thirst is satiated and you feel embraced by life itself. Yeah. You can start to feel the weight in your body, the gentle support of the earth also. Yeah. You inhale and contract gently, Mulabandha, and you exhale brightly, relaxing. You may notice your body getting more and more relaxed in each inhale and exhale. You can feel it becoming more natural, more freeing, more liberating. Mm. Mm. Feel free to take a moment to stretch and come back to the practice again. It's completely free. Your body is completely free. Mm. Ah. You can also feel the tension in your feet as you breathe. Those tools that connect us to earth and to life. Those gifts. Now we can invite our eyes to open and still maintain the practice, just bringing the practice to the awareness of the open eyes. Gently take your time, don't rush it, just bring that comfort to the awareness of your open eyes. Mm. And you keep the flow of the breath. Mm. Now you can invite your attention to spread more into your body and not just your breath, not just inhalation and exhalation, but your whole body, your feet, your heart. You can feel it opening more and relaxing in the embrace of life. You can feel it's bright and shining. If you feel to maintain your eyes closed, you're welcome to. You can bring our attention to our crown. This magical portal of inspiration, divine grace, connection. And you can use these 3 points as your anchors, your guidelines, as focal points of your energy. Of your beingness. And gently come back to this connection with life, more present in the senses. Come back to your ears, your mouth, your nose, your eyes, your skin. And keep the invitation for the body to move as you settle back. As you receive yourself again. With gratitude and appreciation, with grace and love, with kindness, courage, confidence, with love, with openness. I'm so grateful. So deeply grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, António.
Just enjoy it with yourself. If you feel like it, take notes or just stay with it. And if you feel you can share it later, just for now, just stay with it. Unless you feel that it's very urgent, otherwise stay with it. It's yours. Mm.
Mm. Mm. Sounds great. Sounds wonderful.
Thank you for sharing and being here. My
Mm.
pleasure.
Yeah, it was amazing, Antonio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Although at the end, I think I fell asleep or something like this.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, and with me, I don't know if you guided or not, but I was doing the exercise with the banda, you say, and after I you can listen to me, right?
Yeah.
Because I had the okay, sorry, I had my mic up. So I was saying, so I was doing the Mula Banda exercise, and don't know how, but all my attention shifted to my heart, and suddenly I was in a heart.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I don't know, and I don't remember if you guided or not, but I suddenly was in a heart and was really feeling blissful. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think that was your inherent intelligence, Parvati.
and
Bless you.
yeah. And another thing that I realized in this meditation is that there was a part when I think you said, if I didn't misunderstood what you said, that we can open our eyes slowly. And I thought that but maintain the connection. I mean, these words that I use now were the words of Peter in the Grace Flow meditation, but you said it differently. But the way you said and the way I was opening my eyes, I realized that I am being too drastic after the meditation. Like being too quick opening in my eyes and forgetting the connection. So realize that I have to do that slowly in my day-to-day activity to not to remember that I can be opening my eyes and still be meditating in my heart. Yeah.
It's amazing, Parvati. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love the simplicity and the potency of the practice, and I think you did a really. I think you were guiding perfectly in terms of. It felt like the guidance was coming from listening, right? Listening and being sensitive to the rhythm, the process, and not coming from an idea of a practice, but coming from sensitivity and just like the practice arising very naturally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Felt the same.
feeling. Oh, sorry. And also the voice is very nice. Your voice is like very in tune with it. Very like perfect voicing and rhythm. I felt that too.
Yeah.
In the next retreat, it'll be a silent retreat, but with some practices. So let's say, some guided practices, but for the most part, a silent retreat. And I'd like to invite each of you to guide some practices in that. It'd be lovely for you to share this practice or whatever feels, whatever arises. Antonio, it can be this or whatever is alive in the moment. But this kind of practice would be a perfect one to guide as part of the daily sessions in the retreat.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I work very with what's coming up. As I was going on a walk in like 2 hours back, and I was thinking about, okay, I'm gonna guide the practice today, and I was thinking, yeah, but you almost never do a practice twice. Like it's always something changes, like, oh, it's the place, or it's always different. It's not the practice, it's just a practice. So I was like, I don't know what's coming.
Yeah. Well, that's also the grace flow meditation began like that in terms of being. I didn't from one day to the next just create the grace flow meditation as a defined practice with a name. What happened was that I was giving workshops and meditations, and I was giving spontaneous practices, guiding people through spontaneous processes. And then after many of these spontaneously guided processes, I noticed a pattern. I noticed something that among the many variations of things, there was always certain elements. They were always there. And so the grace flow practice became those elements, the ones that were always there, as like a condensed version. Because the meditations I was guiding were sometimes 40 minutes, but there was almost always like a beginning point and a way of entering and a way of settling and a way of closing, you could say. And so that became the reference for a practice that became repeatable. Yeah.
Yeah, Peter, the grace flow template, not just the meditation, but the template that it's behind the meditation, it's more than golden. It's richness, it's life, it's very special.
Yeah, and I like the way that you refer to it as a template, because I like to see it that way, as something that you can all work with without having to just repeat it. You can draw from that template and see what naturally arises for you.
Yeah, Peter, I feel it's like a safe ground to just explore it, and that's allow whatever it comes. So I'm very grateful for you sharing yourself and your magic that way with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hmm. May I read a poem?
Yeah. I was feeling like a poem was coming. I didn't know it was coming. That's great.
Beautiful. Yeah. The pedestal. I was so used to see everything and everyone looking me down and wondered, why aren't we all the same? Aren't we all together, right here? Aren't we breathing the same? And I wonder a little bit more. Till action came to manifestation, and I suddenly obliterated all pedestals I knew. Now nobody looks me weird. Now it is eye to eye, straightforward, balanced chin. Hmm. You wanted to say anything, Parvati?
Yes, if you could send the poem on the chat or
Sure. I think
in the chat or in the Telegram. I mean, does not have to be now. Yeah.
yeah, I can put it in the class group. This poem feels like some kind of a satire against the ritual as well. Did you felt that, or any of you felt that?
I didn't notice that. Maybe rereading it, I would see what you're referring to in that aspect.
And from my side also have to say this, sorry. I mean, the meditation was so deep and blissful that I'm in a kind of silent state. A part of me wants to talk a lot, but a part of me wants to stay in that silence. Yeah, so I wasn't like fully aware of the poem, but yeah.
Okay. So I will share it in the chat and just keep that good place that you are in. It's at least it's what I'm feeling.
Any other sharing? Elio, it's really great to see you. Happy to see you joining us live.
Yeah, it's been some time. And actually, not even the classes I've been following, because I was still finishing to see the retreat records. So, and I finished today, and it's kind of and today it's finally I can come to the class, which is great, and I hope to be able to come the next ones. And was nice now that when Parvati mentioned that she was like not even kind of, if I understand right, listening to the poem. I couldn't listen to it. I was doing like that because the sound was kind of. Then I get this so I can get louder because I couldn't hear it. It's kind of it's just like speaking, but like in a cloud, you know. I was in a cloud and where is but I was not aware of that. And now when Parvati talked, yeah, that it was not the sound that was not good. It was me that was in a cloud and I could not get it.
What a place.
And because I think we all at this moment are feeling the blissful. I feel that something common to all of us. Last class I had a question about Icha Shakti, or power of will, power of desire. And then I said, okay, it's okay if I don't get more clarification on that. But then a video suddenly came on YouTube, thanks to all these algorithms and spying things of Google, that talked about the power of 5 powers of Shiva that are called powers of God in the Tantra Illuminated book. I don't remember all the explanation, but what I got is that the power of bliss, it is this energy of that we are feeling right now, like that leads us to the power of the desire, to the Icha Shakti, which is the will of Shiva. And he said that nothing happens in the world without the will of Shiva. And this both goes together. And then when the power of desire comes in your heart, it comes through a bliss, and it leads to an action, like you go searching for what you need. You start by knowledge, and that was going deeper, but I didn't got everything. But this power of bliss, which is ananda, which is this smile. Yeah, thank you for sharing with us, Antonio, because it wasn't a practice you shared. I don't know if you realized, but you shared your power of bliss to us. Yeah.
I share what is ours. It's not a thing that it's mine. It's ours. It's not mine.
Yeah.
It's not mine.
Yeah, what you were available to do, to share, because sometimes we receive, but we aren't available to share. So we have to be grateful for your availability, at least.
Thank you. I feel more grateful for your availability to receive and enjoying it. Yeah.
It's like a bliss snowball.
Yes. Yeah,
and sorry, one more thing to say about the bliss. When you told us that story of yours, Peter, of exercise that were given to you, but the secret was doing with the smile. When I realized this thing of power of bliss, I reminded your story, and maybe the message there was like, do it with the bliss. With enjoyment.
Yeah. There is something that I have referred to as the effort habit, which is it's like a paradigm or an attitude that we interiorize as conditioning from society. And then everything becomes experienced through the lens, through the paradigm of the effort habit. We don't see ourselves making effort, but it's always there, even when we're relaxing, even when we're meditating. The effort habit is the lens through which we are seeking to experience something, even when it's supposedly just relaxation or just meditation. And this key of entering into appreciation, which António really helped to remind us in the practice, to enjoy rather than to be trying to get somewhere. And that really helps to drop us out of the effort habit into beingness, into blissful beingness.
Yeah, I have kind of saying that it was, don't make kriyas on your day, make your day a kriya, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like that thing, it's not the practice that's gonna give you something, it's a practice. Simple. Yes, I feel it, at least.
And you know, one more thing about the effort. I realized like just yesterday that people, because we started talking in the office about ayahuasca and other stuff, um, in the conversation I realized that the people think that even suffering takes effort, therefore they do not realize that they are in suffering. The example I gave is that you don't need to be like dying with hunger or be homeless to be in suffering. Just your daily restlessness can be considered the suffering.
Yeah.
And so it is a really simple way for the suffering be there. Right.
Yeah. Could say that the Buddha's insight is that all of that daily restlessness is ultimately suffering, but there's a period during which we might be convinced that the relief we're looking for, the outcome we're looking for, the goal we're trying to achieve, that's going to give us real satisfaction. And so we don't recognize the restlessness as suffering. We think, well, this is taking me to the goal. The goal. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be relieved. I'm going to be fulfilled. And so it's only when we have recognized that it's an ongoing restlessness, regardless of all these different goals that we're seeking. It's an ongoing restlessness, and that it is by nature suffering. It requires a certain amount of, let's say, testing and failing in trying to achieve happiness, sustainable well-being, before that restlessness can be seen as restlessness. Because first it seems to be useful intention. It seems to be like the power of getting somewhere useful.
Feels like I'm doing a satsang in my heart.
I feel that we are actually doing that part of it.
I was looking around a moment ago for my Hafiz book. I have the love poems from God here at hand, but there was a particular poem that it's not in love poems from God. It's in the small book.
I will get the Tirumantiram book. That has poems too. I have the one that I have from your library.
So I'm going to share one here. This one is from St. Thomas Aquinas. Is the experience of something out of nothing. Is that not how one might describe magic? A hat held upside down may appear empty, though at God's command all life that any planet has ever known could dance around the hat's rim holding hands. The root that needs no ground is He, and from that root all has come. Creation is God's litter, and all are nursed. Some grow more plump than others indeed. Eternally amazed is the soul before God, watching Him expand. Witnessing God reveal Himself to Himself, that divine intimacy I know. Found the poem online, the one I was going to read from the Hafiz book. I don't want to be the only one here telling all the secrets, filling up all the bowls at this party, taking all the laughs. I would like you to start putting things on the table that can also feed the soul the way I do. That way we can invite a hell of a lot more friends. I'm going to share this one in the group chat. I don't remember now if it was in a one-to-one Parvati where you said that you were looking at the bit of the history of Tantra and the elements of the traditions. I was reviewing a recording of a retreat from last year where I used a mind map to talk a bit about the history of the Tantric tradition, and I can share that recording. I think some of you will have seen it. Some of you, Elio, you were probably there. I'm not sure if you were there.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now, yes.
Did my voice disappear for a moment with the rest of you hearing me?
All the rest hear you?
I was hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, Peter.
We kind of finished some for some minute for the last minute or so.
I was saying that I have a recording from a retreat from last year that in which I was explaining about the history of Tantra using a mind map as a reference, as a visual reference. And I can share that recording with you for those who want to review. There was a nice reflection at the end of that process, because it got kind of detailed and you could say kind of academic. Then at the end, I was saying that if we want to share practices with people, we don't necessarily have to use the word tantra or the word yoga in order to share practices that we've integrated from these traditions. But if we use the word yoga, if we use the word tantra, it's important for us to understand both what this means to other people and what it really means historically. If we're going to use these words, it's important for us to have clarity about what we're talking about. And so one option is to not use these words and to just really move in the simplicity of the practices, the simplicity of what people are experiencing, and practices that will bring them into, let's say, a richer, more deep, beautiful, joyful experience of connection with themselves, communion with the divine. And it's not necessary to talk of Tantra in that journey. It's not fundamental to do that. But if we are going to use this terminology, then it can be important to have clarity about the greater context. So that would be the reason to take the time and the effort to go engage in the more detailed analysis, let's say, of the tradition. So I'll be sharing that. And also, I have an update regarding the retreat in January. It'll be from the 8th to the 12th of January.
Peter, that retreat is for the people who are going on next cycle, right?
Yeah, and actually, I will be probably making the retreat available to a few people who are not in the teacher training. I'll be because it's not going to be focused on teachings. It's going to be, there'll be some guided practices, but it'll be mostly a silent retreat. So for those of you who've been in the teacher training, it'll be a really good opportunity for integration, for consolidation, and but it'll also be a useful experience for people who are there just for that retreat, and they'll be able to experience some of the guided practices that'll be offered during the retreat as well.
You could not start at like Saturday, so I could have one more day.
Possibly. You won't be able to join during the week, is that why?
Because it's very difficult for me. I would need to put some days for as holiday.
Yeah.
And I'm already kind of full of like don't have much time.
Sorry, can you repeat the date for the retreat?
8th to the 12th. So it's Sunday to Thursday. That's the dates that are currently set. And
from 8th January to 12th, okay.
yeah, and then you asked if it could begin on the Saturday, on the day before. So I'll confirm. I'll confirm soon. I might be able to confirm tomorrow even.
And about the and the location, it will be in Sintra, but it's
It'll be in
the same place.
In the same place, yeah. We're having a new building set up where the yurt was, but probably it will be in the studio further down the building. If we have the new space already built, it could be in the new spot, but it'll be at the Quinta da Penalva in any case.
And I think we were going to have one retreat that we missed in between. I don't know if that is going, I don't remember if you said.
Yeah. Well, this I think this will be, this one in January, I think will be the next one. But if anybody, if there's anybody who's not joining this next cycle, they can join a part of this week of this 5 or 6 day retreat as well.
Sorry, which retreat was?
There was a retreat that was postponed from before, and so I think Parvati was asking about that 2-day retreat, and I was saying that I don't think that will happen before the January one, and in fact it could be in some sense integrated into the January one. I have to figure out that. Yeah, I have to figure that out. But it's possible that later in January that weekend will also be done.
Okay, for me it's just this. If you can start like for the weekends, because so I don't have to do more holidays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that should be viable. I think starting on the 7th. It feels like we've had a beautiful and rich session already today with the guided practice and as Parvati described, the bathing in bliss that António shared. I'll share here another poem. This one is from Rumi. What will our children do in the morning? Will they wake with their hearts wanting to play the way wings should? Will they have dreamed the needed flights and gathered the strength from the planets that all men and women need to balance the wonderful charms of the earth, so that her power and beauty does not make us forget our own? I know all about the ways of the heart, how it wants to be alive. Love so needs to love that it will endure almost anything, even abuse, just to flicker for a moment. But the sky's mouth is kind. Its song will never hurt you, for I sing those words. What will our children do in the morning if they do not see us fly? And I'll share a short one, another short one from Rumi. If God said, Rumi, pay homage to everything that has helped you enter my arms, there would not be one experience of my life, not one thought, not one feeling, not any act I would not bow down to. For those of you who have the Love Poems from God book, that one's on page 68. And the one I read just before that was on the previous page. So I've said it's going to be a silent retreat, but I don't know that I'll be able to hold back from sharing poems. We may have some hours of silence, some guided practices, and maybe towards the end of the day, poems. There might be a framework where people who aren't part of the teacher training finish at, for example, 4 p.m. and people in the teacher training, we continue for another hour, and there could be a reading of some texts. And I'm open to any ideas that come. If any of you feel that there are particular needs and anything you would like to bring to the retreat in terms of practices that you would like to share. There's still room for the retreat to be shaped.
Thank you, Peter, for the openness and the care. Thank you very much.
So the retreat, I'm sorry, is a silent one, all the retreat?
It's
or like satsangs in the between, or?
Not really. I mean, it will be more silence than anything else. So there will be some guided practice, and not much satsang type interaction. There might be a period. There might be a period on each day where if people have questions, then they can come and share a question written down. And there might be like a satsang period in case there are questions that are very related to struggles that people may be experiencing during the retreat. So not answering questions, more general questions about Tantra or spirituality, but questions that may be arising that are very related to the retreat itself. So it will be a mostly silent retreat. We might do, and when I say silent, we might have, like I said, there might be some poetry, might be some guided practice. There might even be some movement along with music. So the emphasis is not on literal silence, but on not filling the space with conversation and with the mind's interest in questions and answers. So that there may be content that's shared that is more directly either practice or versus to contemplate, you know, bathing in divine song, you could say. And some voice work. So again, that can seem totally contradictory to the idea of doing a silent retreat, but often the voice work as a beginning of the day is what sets up for a very natural space in which silence is effortless, you know, and there's a space that just opens and clears through the voice work. So we may not do voice work every day, but that for me makes sense as an entry. So we're not coming in and then trying to be silent, you know, we're coming in and settling in and attuning and releasing, and then silence is a natural consequence, and we bathe in that space.
Great. It'll be my first silence retreat if I don't find one until there. Hope you can find it for starting in Saturday. So I can,
yeah, I think that will be possible. If the space isn't available, because I'm going with dates that were Iris told me these are the dates that are more available in January, there at the beginning of January. But if necessary, it would also be possible to do the Saturday here in where I give my consultations, where my mother lives, and you know, that would also be an option to be here in the sitting room in this space. It's a smaller space, but we can still gather here for practice. And so I'll confirm in the next day or two. But that would be a backup option if that's the challenge. If it's that the studio will be occupied on Saturday. And in fact, I know that on Wednesday morning, during that week, in the Wednesday morning, the studio will be occupied. So if we don't have the other building, we'll either be outdoors or here on Wednesday, or something will be different on that day to account for the use of the space there. But I'll figure that out. Okay. Any more sharing before we complete for today?
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you. And once again, thank you for the practice you shared, António.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love to you all.
Much love.
see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Peter, do you have time for a call or for us to talk about setting the last session we have? And
Yeah. Yeah. I think a Thursday evening would be a possibility for us to do that, like after at 7:30, 8 p.m. on a Thursday would be a viable time, or we might be able to do it on a weekend.
I would prefer the weekend because now I'm going to have another class after.
Okay.
So so I would prefer now to do it like in weekend or another day of the week.
Yeah. Well, during horário laboral is viable for me. It's the post work hours that are more difficult for me because of my family commitments, which is why I suggested a Thursday evening or a weekend. And normally I don't work on weekends, but I'm finding it easier now to make a bit of space in a weekend than in the evenings. So we can talk about which weekend would be viable. I think.
Is still recording or can maybe?
I am. I'll stop the recording. Thank you. Yeah.
So then so